Welcome to the Geek Therapy Radio podcast. I'm your mental curator, Johnny Hemberger. Let's get started. Should you buy an Nvidia Shield Portable in 2019? Well, you don't have to skip ahead for the answer because I'll tell you right now in one word. No. Thanks for listening. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, now that the TLDR crowd has left, sit back and relax as I get a little more specific to defend my opinion.
Geek Therapy Radio.
If you are not a collector, the Shield Portable, though I am personally fond of it, is not a wise choice in 2019. If you are a collector of niche gaming hardware and find it for below $200, it might be worth it to you out of pure peculiarity. How am I having such trouble? It might be worth it to you out of pure peculiarity and historical significance. So I will start by making an argument for the collector before my argument for the general consumer. Okay, so for the collector, the Nvidia Shield Portable is a fascinating piece of gaming history. More specifically, Nintendo's history, present, and quite possibly future. To be direct, the Shield Portable is the Switch's blood grandfather. Also in this analogy, the K1-powered Shield tablet is the Switch's father, and the X1-powered Shield TV is the Switch's brother. In fact, Shield TVs in China received a fully Nintendo-licensed remastered port of Super Mario Galaxy, but let's get back on track. The Nvidia Tegra SoC, that is system on chip, in the Shield Portable, specifically the Tegra 4 with its 72 CUDA cores, is a direct precursor to the Tegra X1 SoC and its 256 CUDA cores in the Nintendo Switch. I'll get right to the point. The Nintendo GameCube, Wii, and Wii U were all powered by AMD, and Nvidia built the Shield Portable to impress Nintendo into a contract with them and abandon AMD, their direct competition. And it worked. You can think of the Shield Portable as a public beta test to bolster Nvidia's resume to impress Nintendo. The Shield Portable demonstrated the power of Nvidia's SoC, the Shield Tablet demonstrated it could fit into a thin form factor, and the X1-powered Shield TV proved to Nintendo how much power could be achieved by adding minimal cooling, hence the small fan that found its way into the X1-powered Nintendo Switch. So, if you're a collector who values history over horsepower, the story behind the auspicious yet critically divisive Nvidia Shield Portable is more than worth the cost of entry. It's hard to imagine any gaming historian who wouldn't at least, here comes Bob.
Hey Johnny, you remember that ID we run in, but that 10-second one, the first one?
Yep.
Run the 2-second one instead.
Perfect.
Because we're using the backup computer, and that's all they got left.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Can't see me talking into a microphone or anything. All right, where the heck was I? Why'd I scroll down so far? It's hard to imagine any gaming historian who wouldn't at least find the Shield line of products historically fascinating. I'll even go out on a limb and say that the hardcore Nintendo collector would do well to consider adding this branch of the Nintendo family tree to a shelf below, but between the Wii U and the Switch. Now, I'll move on to why it's my opinion that the general consumer or emulation fan should pass on the Shield Portable. It's what I mentioned a few sentences ago. Horsepower and the lack thereof. Not only lack of horsepower, but many of the Shield Portable's previously revolutionary features are now available or will be soon on the Android device in your own pocket. To cut to the chase, your modern smartphone and a Bluetooth controller is likely more powerful than the Shield Portable. Not only that, but previously Shield exclusive features like streaming games from your PC and cloud gaming are already available on your smartphone or will be soon. Nvidia announced recently that it is expanding its GeForce Now cloud gaming service to most Android devices, not just the Shield Portable, tablet, or TV. So, you can already play PC games on your smartphone or tablet over your local home network with apps like Steam Link and Moonlight. Soon you'll be able to cloud game with GeForce Now, and your modern phone is likely much more powerful for emulation. For instance, Yoshi's Island suffers frame skip on the Shield Portable, but runs like butter on my Galaxy Note 9, even in power-saving mode with the last generation Snapdragon 845 limited to 70% capacity. Physically, the Shield Portable isn't that portable, nor would I call the controls ideal. The controls are very, very good, mind you, but in regards to heft and pure control bliss, bringing an Xbox One S controller along with you to pair to your phone is a much better, less fatiguing experience. The Shield Portable screen has held up remarkably well and still looks gorgeous, if not perfect, even stacked up against anything on the market today, even at 720p. It is crisp, bright, and just a joy to behold. But then again, your phone screen likely is just as good and at a higher resolution to boot. It's likely larger as well. The Shield Portable screen is only 5 inches, while my Note 9 is 6.4 inches. You know, 6-inch plus screens are commonplace in 2019. It's not just the Galaxy Note line. So to start wrapping this up, I will summarize the body of this episode one more time. If you are passingly interested in the Shield Portable as an emulation or game streaming device, save your money. In all likelihood, your phone and a Bluetooth controller you already own will blow it out of the water. However, if you are a collector, the historical significance of the Shield Portable is a compelling proposition. But as I frequently remind my audience, these were only my own personal opinions and arguments. You are free to have your own opinions and spend your money however you wish. Okay, so that's the end of the write-up. That's probably the voiceover I'm going to use when I edit the YouTube video for this, where I showcase my Shield tablet, which for podcast-only listeners right now, I will tap against the microphone. That's what the Shield tablet sounds like. I'll open the lid here. I'll put this little shield on it. All right, whatever. I just wanted to give a little behind the scenes as to why I even thought about doing this episode, why even talk about the Shield Portable. Did I call it a tablet? The Shield Portable in 2019. And I've been using it the past couple of days, and I've been having a really good time playing old games on it. So Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance runs fine. Most Super Nintendo games tend to run fine. As I mentioned in the write-up there, that Yoshi's Island or anything that depends on the Super FX chip, it's very playable. Do not get me wrong. It's very playable, but it is much more playable at a silky smooth, unaltered 60 frames per second on a Galaxy Note 9 or any smartphone. So here's a kind of fascinating story about the Shield. And I did a full review of the Shield Portable 3 years ago or so on the YouTube channel. It's a little, I don't want to call it cringeworthy, but the videos have improved since then, I'll just say. So the story at the time was I did that review of the Shield, and then I listed the Shield Portable, and then I listed my Shield Portable on Craigslist. I sold that Shield Portable to somebody here in Houston, and the guy I sold it to actually saw my video on YouTube. I made no reference to it in the Craigslist ad. He just, when you're interested in buying something, of course, you go to YouTube and you look at reviews on the things and you do your research, and he saw my video on it. It was one of the things that helped him decide to buy a Shield Portable, and it just so happens that the Shield Portable from the video is the one that he was buying, my Shield Portable. I sold it to him for, I want to say, somewhere around $150, which even today is very fair. I'd say average for a Shield Portable today is around $200, probably average a little bit over $200. After I sold my Shield Portable to that guy, a few weeks later, I've had seller's remorse. I was bummed that I sold it. The more I thought about it, the more I liked it and the more I missed it. So I myself went back onto Craigslist or eBay and bought another Shield Portable for, I think I bought it for like $130. I think I made $20 off the whole transaction. But anyways, I loved it enough that I felt bad for selling it, and I bought another one. So with all that write-up that I just gave, and why I don't think the average consumer, the average gamer should buy the Shield Portable, that still holds true, regardless of my fondness for it and the fun that I have with it. I like the history of it. I like knowing the history of it, where it came from, why it was invented, why it was produced, was basically for Nvidia to show off to Nintendo, to get them out of bed with AMD. And instead of doing internal research and internally developing a product and pitching that to Nintendo, they made the product, they sold it to us, the public, and it was kind of a brilliant move to further impress Nintendo. See, we've been selling these things, and they may not have sold like hotcakes, but it demonstrated the technology. It demonstrated that the technology was not only achievable, but was reliable. There's no better test than real world testing with real consumers, and Nvidia just did it in a way that they actually made some money off of it. I hope they made money off of it. Yeah, they made money off of it. And at the end, at least, yes, they've made money off of the Nvidia Shield TV and the Nintendo Switch. So it worked out for them big time to test their product in the real world with real consumers. It'd kind of be like Samsung testing they shouldn't have done this, and they didn't do it, thankfully, but testing the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Remember that whole debacle with the folding phone? They sent it out to tech reviewers and YouTubers and critics to review, and a lot of the review units broke. They had the screens broke and the device broke. It got dust under the screen. It was a horror show. It was an absolute horror show for Samsung. And that was only with the review units that they sent out. Could you imagine them just not sending out any review units and just saying, okay, this device is on sale now for $2,000 to the public, and just having hundreds of thousands of those devices out there fail? The crap show that would have been for Samsung. That's kind of what Nvidia did with the Shield Portable. They took the risk, except I think they built this thing like a tank. That's one reason why I think the Portable, like I mentioned, is heavy and it's kind of fatiguing to play after a while. They built it like a freaking tank. This thing is solid. It has weight to it and girth. It is a solid device that has held up remarkably well over the past few years that I've owned it. It came out in 2003. I also have the Shield tablet and the Shield TV. I collected the whole line, but I am a collector in that way. There was historical significance to me. I know that every time I pick up the Shield Portable, that this is basically the first version of the Nintendo Switch. So it's very cool from a collector standpoint, and really it was the collector standpoint that had me buy it back. I liked that it was one of the few devices in the world that exclusively that had access to the GeForce Now cloud gaming through GeForce Now and game streaming. I rarely stream games from my computer, but that was because my internet connection or my home network connection wasn't that great. I rarely streamed games over the cloud with it. That was, again, because my connection isn't great, and that's kind of where we are with cloud gaming right now, is it depends entirely on having a baller status internet connection. I have a much better internet connection in my new home now. So I'll probably be using that feature, dabbling around with it. But the fact remains is, like I mentioned, GeForce Now game streaming, cloud gaming, is coming to this generic Android handheld devices. And that means that probably down the line, just like with Steam Link used to be Android only, and it made the jump to Mac. It's the same way, or to Apple OS. on the iPhones. I think it's the same thing with GeForce Now game streaming services. They're going to do all the betas and the testing on just random or on, generic Android devices. They'll see how that goes, and then if it goes well, they'll jump it over to make Nvidia GeForce Now available on Apple iOS devices. So that's just kind of the death knell, Knell, the death knell for the consideration for buying a Shield Portable. If all you're after is game streaming and emulation, now we have devices that you probably already have in your pocket that will do it all. But if you're a collector, it is a very cool device. I will say, if you're passingly interested, if you're just fascinated in the slightest by the Shield Portable, sometimes you see them go up on eBay for less than $150, $120. If you can swing it, if you're comfortable spending that kind of money on something that you don't know whether or not you'll really enjoy, I would say if you buy it at $120 or so, under $150, just keep it for a little while. It will appreciate. Not to $500, not to $400 even, not anything like that. I don't predict that. It could. I don't know. I'm not saying it will. But the average price is around $200 up to about under $300. So if you buy one from somebody who doesn't know what they have for less than $150, you can turn around, you clean it up a little bit, turn around, sell it for between $175, possibly $200, depending on what kind of comes with it and how clean it is, fairly easily. So if you see it for around $120 on eBay, because I've never seen them that low on Amazon. On Amazon, the lowest is like $270 something. But if you find one around $120 and you're passively interested and you can swing the money, sure. If it's around $200, don't do it. It's not worth it in 2019. However, if you're a collector, it absolutely is. And I guess that's all I have to say about that. Hope you enjoyed my write-up on it. That's going to go up on YouTube in an accompanying video and my little behind the scenes. I've just been enjoying the Nvidia Shield Portable the past few days. I've charged it up with my solar panels and everything. I'm enjoying playing the Game Boy games on it. The screen is brilliant. The controls are really, 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 really nice. Like I mentioned in the body of my write-up earlier, just because the Xbox One S controls are darn near perfect doesn't mean that the Shield Portable controls are not really good as well. I think most anybody who picks up the Shield Portable will like the controls a lot. They might like it more than the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con controls, which is not a stretch to say. It's very good controls. It's just that Xbox controllers feel way better and way more natural. So do Sony DualShocks and all that. But Shield Portable has really nice controls. It's really solid. It is convenient that the display is hinged. It's a clamshell design. And I didn't mention that the speakers for what this device is are actually pretty darn good. They get really loud. There's not a ton of bass. There is some bass there, but it's really loud. It's really cool, good for watching Netflix. But then again, like I mentioned, the phone in your pocket probably has a bigger screen than the Nvidia Shield, and it's already with you. It weighs less, and it's already with you 100% of the time. So it's a hard sell to say you should buy a Shield Portable and just take it with you everywhere, because it's not that portable. Then again, the Switch Lite doesn't switch. It doesn't connect to your TV. It's not a Switch anymore, really. It's like what would you call it? Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for listening. Know that you are worthy of love. Be good to yourselves and others. Embrace your inner geek. And I'll see you in the next one.
Geek Therapy Radio, Saturday night at 10 on KPRC 950. Or listen anytime on our iHeartRadio app.